Here comes the sun, little darling. Here comes the sun. One country's got guns like this, and they're like, we got guns pointed at you. And the other country's like, oh crap. So they make big guns, bigger than the first ones. And then the other country comes back and says, we've been making new ones. And then the other one's like, well, we got to keep up. And then the other one's like, kaboom, get ready, we're going to shoot you. And the other one's like, no, you're not. Only the education of both countries is going to pot because they keep building up these giant militaries and they're using all the tax money for that instead of what they ought to be using it for. So then the other country comes back and he says, we got a big gun, we got to use it. Boom! World War IV. That's how it happens right there. So, ba-dum-bum. That's the, don't take my word for it, apart from reading manga. So, here's what I think ought to happen. I think the United States ought to take their military down just a notch, and take their education system up just a notch, and take the infrastructure up just a notch, and then use some sort of synergy so that our military, instead of just working on killing and shooting people in other countries, I think what we ought to do is get those people to fix our own problems here in the United States. Call me crazy, but I'm down for bringing those people abroad back. Bring them back, bring them home, bring them home. I think we ought to take our military bases in foreign countries, turn them into resorts for Americans, and then send the Americans to the resorts, and invite other people too. I think that would be good. And just sell them. Anyway, nobody's really asking me what my foreign policy is, but I think Americans ought to get more passports. I think they ought to travel more abroad. I think they ought to understand more about what's going on in the world around them. And I think, well, I think if we did that, we'd be doing pretty darn good. Oh, and airplanes are really cool. So, yeah, I think we should figure out a way to make airplanes less expensive to maintain and run, and more accessible to the everyday man safely. So airplanes could just fly themselves and people could just enjoy them and hop in and go abroad and travel abroad and then come back and be like, what's up, United States? Peace out. Instead of it like, I can't leave my country, we have big guns, we have to build bigger ones to keep people out of our country. No, I think that's silly. Let's just let everybody in. Anybody wants to come, you can come. Anybody wants to stay and park, that's cool. Just pay your taxes and come on. We got plenty of space. Anyway, so there I'm getting political on you. President Obama's been tweeting lately. Little tweedledee, 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 tweet, tweet. As it turns out, the 4th of July was excellent. I went to the beach with my family, and it was a bit chaotic because on the evening of the 4th, people started shooting fireworks off of the beach, and the beaches were crowded, and it was high tide, so everyone was kind of really condensed. And I saw a couple fireworks go off in the crowd. So instead of going up 50 feet and exploding 50 feet out in all directions, like what most of them were doing, this one just went nowhere up. It just exploded out, and it was a bit dangerous. So I think that's one of those things that should be a little bit more controlled. Personally, I don't think people ought to be able to blow up strangers on the beach with explosives. I'm just not against. I'm just not for that. I think it should be a little bit more regulated as far as where that is. But anyway, that's just me. I ate some Olive Garden tonight. It was tasty. I will tell you that. And but I always overeat. So if anybody can convince me how to go to Olive Garden and not overeat, tell me your secrets, because I want to know. And in the meantime, public service announcement of the day is don't overeat like what I did. Because, why? Well, it's not good for you. And it can lead to things like all sorts of health problems. High blood pressure, diabetes, morbid obesity. I mean, cancer is directly related to having high body weight. Oh my goodness, there are so many reasons why you ought not overeat. Everything in moderation. So, until next time, think skinny thoughts and become a world citizen, whatever that means.